What's up, everybody? It's Sunday, it's the Late Night Agenda, and as always, you know my intro. You know my intro at this point. I know it's repetitive, I know I come on. I'm a creature of habit. This is the Late Night Agenda. I'm your host, Craig, and you're all very welcome along to tonight's show. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I know it's drawn to a close. I should probably start off tonight's stream by congratulating Portugal on winning the inaugural Nations League. They just defeated Virgil van Dijk's Netherlands by a goal to nil to be crowned the inaugural Nations League champion, so congratulations to them. I don't know if we have any Portuguese viewers that watch, but if we do, congratulations to you. I'm not a massive fan of international football, but it is a massive achievement, so look, congratulations to Portugal. And we move on. I think tonight I probably have more notes and more little bits and pieces to talk about than any other night I've ever been on this channel. Obviously, when we go and win Champions League, there's a lot to talk about. Do you know what I mean? When we add number 6, I'm not going to get tired of saying that. Number 6, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, everybody. Boy is in. Loads of people in the chat already, which is a pleasure. Thank you guys so much. October is in. How are you, my friend? Feels like a while. I hope you're keeping well. October, just a little thing. Isn't karma a bitch? Isn't karma just a bitch, October? I think you know what I'm getting at there. Sorry, apologies to everybody else. That was a bit of an inside joke. Aaron, Carolyn, how are you, mate? And welcome to everybody else that's coming in. Did I see Robertson's banger versus Cyprus? Would you believe, Tom, I still haven't seen it. Honestly, I still haven't seen it. I know all about it. I've been told how great it was, but hand on heart, I haven't seen it yet. Ponton Soccer Academy says, glad to be back, Craig. How are you, buddy? Pleasure to have you back with us. I do look forward to see who's going to be in. I'm like a bit of a child when I come on here every night. I know we'll have the usual amazing people, but I like to see an odd new name or two come in as well. Claire's in as well. Claire Dean, how are you, my friend? Karma is such a bitch. It is. It's great. I smiled my ass off all day today, October, about that. Mark Bullen, how are you, buddy? Welcome. Pepe jeans is the only Pepe will be bought. Do they still make Pepe jeans, Maverick? It's been a while, man. Obviously, I'm not a fella who wears many jeans, but do they make Pepe jeans still? God, that just shows you, doesn't it? Just shows you how little in touch I am with fashion. Brett, how are you, my friend? Welcome into you as well. And to everybody else, it's great to see you all with us. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. Let's get straight into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start with a bit of Nathaniel Clyne. I know, a little bit of a curveball there. We haven't mentioned him much recently. Well, it seems like Nathaniel Clyne will be leaving Liverpool Football Club if reports are to be believed. And the figure of around £15 million is being mentioned for Clyne. Bournemouth, who of course he was on loan with, seem to be interested in a permanent deal. But another name that's popped up around Nathaniel Clyne is Napoli. Now, I still think Clyne can do a job somewhere. I still think he's a very good fullback. So 15 million for an established international like Clyne. Look, well, he's fallen out of favour, but somebody with the experience of an international like Nathaniel Clyne, I think that would be good business all around, if I'm being honest. Right, so what do you guys think on Clyne? Sorry, I was a bit distracted by something else there. Paul Dunning said, Craig, I think we'll sign a player this week. Do you know what, Paul, mate? I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of with you on that one, buddy. I'm expecting something in the next 4 or 5 days. Irish Leprechaun, how are you? Welcome. Crosby Red is in the house as always. Crosby Red, it's a pleasure to see you. Is that a Messi shirt? No, it's an Argentina shirt, but there's definitely no Messi on it, mate. I told you guys I'm an Adidas freak. I love Adidas stuff. I've got a load of Adidas jerseys. Do you see the way I did it again? I went Adidas in the one sentence, and I don't even realise I'm doing it half the time. He's decent in my opinion, said, but would you have him at Leicester, Anthony? Would you have any interest in Nathaniel Clyne? I feel like I'm his agent here, hawking him around the clubs. Vortex, we're only just started, buddy. Not much news yet. Clyne 50 million, that'll be an excellent buy for somebody, said Recessionizer. Crazy how he threw him into the United game and then he left, said Brett, or he was bought. He was brilliant in that United game, Brett. I'm with you. That's why it was such a shock that he played that game against United, did really well, and then a day or two later we hear that he's going on loan. Can you go over players you'd keep or sell? Yes, I can, Sam. Let me just get through the Clyne stuff and then I'll get straight to that, buddy, if that's okay. Liam Hunter, how are you, buddy? Welcome in. Talk about Pepe. I will indeed talk about Pepe. Look, guys, honestly, there's so much to get through tonight. The list, I have 10 things on my list, and usually my list comprises maybe 5 or 6 little bits and pieces, but you guys do steer the conversation, so I'm willing to take, not willing, that sounds wrong, I absolutely want to take your lead on these things. So look, a few more bits on Clyne and then I will get to that, Sam, the bits you asked about who I'd keep and who I'd sell. Clyne is class, great business of 15 million, said Osama's Taste Cave. Don't think we'll miss Clyne, said Crosby Red. I think I don't know anything, but it just feels like something Something must have happened there somewhere. Something must have happened. I don't know what, but I just feel like something happened there with Clyne. Let him go for 15 million. Excellent business, said Gary. Hello from Dubai, said Denzel. How are you, buddy? Welcome in. And Portugal won, Mark. Yes, I did start off the stream, buddy. You're probably just after coming in. I started off the stream by congratulating Portugal on their inaugural Nations League win. Absolutely fantastic. Well done to them. Clyne for 20 to 25 million sounds nice, said Param. I think, what is he, 28, 29, Nathaniel Clyne? So I think maybe 15 to 20 million would probably be a reasonable fee. You don't have Messi on the back of your shirt, Craig, but Messi has Craig on his shirt. Well, probably wears the old Craigie pyjamas to bed. Now look, as I said before, I'm a massive fan of Lionel Messi. I will never belittle the man. We ended him at Anfield, but I do love the guy. He's a fantastic footballer. Clyne for Leicester would fit, said Stevie Richards. Only as backup, Ricardo's levels above. I've been impressed with Ricardo actually, boy. I think I mentioned this to you previously when you guys were playing Manchester City. I think we were having a couple of DMs back and forth, and I said that he actually looks really good. We need to push on for the Premier League title next season, said it's Fran. Right, I promised Sam I'd go back up and answer Sam's query. Where was it? What players would I like to see stay and what players would I like to see leave? No problem, Sam. So leaving wise, or do I believe will leave? Now Adam Lallana's an interesting one. I have a bit of news on Lallana that I'll get to in 1 second. So for me, who I expect to move on in this window, I'm actually on the fence now on Mignolet, believe it or not. I don't know what's going on there because I'm hearing some things saying he might be willing to stay. And if he is willing to stay, sound. No problem whatsoever. I have no issues with Mignolet being the backup goalkeeper. Wilson will probably move on. Again, I'll touch on that later on. Grujic I'm unsure of. I'll touch on that later on. Clyne looks like he's going to move on. Ryan Kent looks like he'll move on. Conor Masterson has been released. Who else am I thinking of? Daniel Sturridge, obviously, Alberto Moreno. They're all gone. Who I want to, did you say bring in? I don't really mind who we bring in, mate. I don't want to give you a quick answer because it actually leads into my notes as well. But I can't think of anybody else who would move on off the top of my head unless I'm missing somebody really obvious. The Lallana thing, I would move Lallana on, but sorry, something caught my eye in the chat there. Alright, yes, thank you for deleting that, Mossy. Right, so there we go. Lallana. Sorry, I'm a little bit confused because there was some dickhead in the chat there that just put some absolutely horrible stuff in. Lallana. Right, so I've believed all summer that Adam Lallana was more than likely to leave. We've seen conflicting rumours. One thing seemed to suggest at one point that we were willing to move on Sheridan Shaqiri and keep Lallana. Then other things said that we were willing to move on Lallana and keep Shaqiri. But what I have read today is that Adam Lallana has apparently cancelled his holiday in a bid to prepare himself for the new season and prove his fitness to the gaffer. And that's a good sign. I mean, you always like to see things like that. Jordan Henderson done something like that previously as well. And I've no doubt that Adam Lallana would love to stay at Liverpool Football Club. I just personally would move him on. Not because I don't like the guy. I think Adam Lallana, when fit, can be a very good footballer. I just don't know exactly how much time he's going to get. But then again, if he's willing to have reduced game time, and I've spoken openly about this many times, we could have as much as 72 games next season, so there could well be availability for him. For me, it was just a matter of this could be the window where you could probably cash in on him and still get a decent amount. But at the same time, I forgot about the 20 million we're going to have coming in from Danny Ings from Southampton as well. So that'll be coming to us. If Karius stays at Besiktas, then that will guarantee us probably another 12 million or so from him. Ryan Kent being moved on, maybe I think 12 to 14 million was the figure I'd seen mentioned there. Clyne, we spoke about 15 million. So the money starts to add up there with players that were already moving on. So I could understand the arguments for Lallana to stay. And if it suits all parties, hey, who the hell am I to say otherwise? Adam Lallana has been great for us at certain points in his career. I just think injuries seem to be catching up on him, but he is Hendo's mate. Not knowing if that has any bearing on it or not. Jurgen Klopp always seemed to like Lallana. He was very important in the pressing in the early days under Jurgen Klopp. And if you can get back to full fitness, then do you know what? Why not? There's worse players we could have coming off the bench. So I hope that answers a little bit, buddy. I know I might have been a bit vague there, but I will get back to it because there's loads to get through in tonight's stream. Besiktas can't pay their bills. It seems like that's been sorted a little bit October. There was worries about Karius at one point. I'd heard stuff from the manager as well saying that, quite frankly, didn't fancy Karius to be reliable, something along those lines. And then of course there was the stuff about wages not getting paid, but that looks like it's sorted and it looks like he's going to stay there. But I'm convinced of Depay, said Lombe. I still don't know what's going on there, mate. I mean, for me, as I said, call me petty, but when he put up the picture in the Cantona shirt, that doesn't seem to be the actions of somebody who might be joining Liverpool Football Club. That kind of gave me a hint that he might not be coming, but that's the only thing I can really base that on. I want him to stay, Lallana, said Mossy Kyo. Lallana's cameos have been okay this season. It's just an injury question. Exactly, Cahill. That's where I'd be as well, buddy. Lallana gets on with Klopp, said Stevie Richards. What else we got? Anything else on Lallana? Domestic Butler said, I don't think Liverpool will sign anybody this week, maybe the week after. As in, you mean the coming week, mate? Because it is Sunday. I don't know, I think we might get somebody in this week. But then again, it's all guesswork, buddy, isn't it, really? Claire said, Lallana's a good player, need to be great for domestic cup matches. I don't rate Depay, said John Hamilton. Depay's a great player, but not sure if his personality fits. He's hit and miss to me as a player. As I said before, he can do unbelievable things, but it's always been the attitude for Depay that worried me. I don't really want to judge him on his time at Manchester United because sometimes it's just wrong time, wrong player, wrong club, and I think that might have been one of those occasions. At Lyon, he has had moments of sheer brilliance, but he's also had fallouts with the manager, and he's been quite outspoken in the media, which would not wash over here. Jurgen Klopp wouldn't put up with that. So I said yesterday, last time I checked, he was the most likely player with the bookies to sign for Liverpool at 10 to 11. Again, that doesn't mean anything. Right, who else do we want to talk about? Because this is your show. I have my notes, but I want you guys to steer the conversation. Cape Town Muslim said, I must say I can't see the fuss about Depay. I think there's better out there myself. Doesn't the window open Tuesday the 11th? No, Crosby Red. The window opened on May the 17th or midnight May the 16th. The window's been open for almost a month now, believe it or not. Depay hasn't got the right discipline. Yes, that would be my consideration or my view, Sarabia, mate, as well. Or Sarabia, excuse me. I'm so bad at pronouncing names. What do you think should happen to Ben Woodburn this summer? Alone, Liam. The only reason I hesitate to say sell him is because I always feel bad when I talk about a player that young and I'm just ruling them out completely, because a player at that age is still developing. And sometimes players develop a little bit later than others. He's had a couple of injuries as well, so I think maybe alone, but deep down I have questions about whether he'll make it. But look, my judgment doesn't matter on this. It's all about Jurgen Klopp's decision. It's France. We need a midfielder who can pick out a deadly pass, can pop up with a goal like Coutinho, Liverpool legend. Fuck off, Fran, mate, is my answer to that. How on earth is Coutinho a Liverpool legend? That is a ridiculous statement. I don't know if you're trolling, mate, but quite frankly, that's a fucking stupid thing to say. How on earth can you call a man that tried to throw his manager under the bus, feigned injury, and left for another club a Liverpool legend? That is... it's just stupid, mate, on every level. As I said, I don't know if you're just on a wind-up here or not, but that to me just doesn't make any sense, what you've said there at all. Legend. Like the names that I can mention before him, and you're actually calling Coutinho a legend. What about T-Rex taking the penalty for England? It was actually a great penalty, Claire. It was a really good penalty from Jordan Pickford, in fairness. Fuck Coutinho, he's a snake. To somebody else. What else we got? Woodburn should have had better development. The Curtis Jones, Matt Phillips, Craig, move him on. Nat Phillips. It's the injuries, mate. It's the injuries. Oh, Fran, I get you, mate. I get you. Sorry, I owe Fran an apology. One of these situations again where I didn't realise Fran was having a chat with Liverpool legend in the chat. You've no need to apologise to me, Fran, mate. Sorry. Massively hold my hands up there, buddy. But he still isn't a legend. But I know that's not what you were saying. So look, sincere apologies, Fran, mate. I completely read that one wrong. He's not in the same categories like to Gerrard, Fowler, etc., said Liam. Look, as I said, the legend thing, that was my bad. I absolutely hold my hands up on that one. What else we got? Any news on Pepe? Yes, I do have a little bit. People loving the Pepe stuff. Absolutely mad for the Pepe stuff. Did you see the Maguire penalty? They were all very good penalties, mate. Who was it scored? The Panenka for England with a penalty. Somebody took a Panenka. It was quite decent, to be fair. Right, so where have we got? Who are we looking for? Oh, right, so you want Nicolas Pepe. Right, here we go. So this is what I've read today, and it's not going to be what you gentlemen want to hear and ladies want to hear. Liverpool have yet to make contact with Lille regarding Nicolas Pepe, according to the Echo. The front man has been strongly linked to the move to the Reds, with L'Equipe recently reporting that we had already tabled a £70 million bid. Pepe is also wanted by Manchester United and Arsenal, and he enjoyed a stunning season in League One, bagging 22 goals as Lille finished second behind Paris Saint-Germain. It's led to a scramble for his signature. Liverpool look set to win, but the Echo claim these reports are incorrect and that no talks have begun at this stage, and that comes via the Mirror. But again, they mentioned the Echo in it, so again, conflicting reports. We have some people saying it was Barkley that hooked Panenka. Thank you, Fran. Some people saying that we had bid 70 million for him. I think the guy that broke the Fabinho story even mentioned that we'd bid for him, and then the Echo were saying that we haven't bid for him. Whatever is happening, I want us to be in for a forward. I want us to be in for an attacking player. I don't want to say I don't care who it is, because of course I do, but I've been very honest in that I've seen very limited amounts of Nicolas Pepe, and I'm not the right person to judge him. But people in the chat who I trust their opinions, and people who have spoken to about Pepe, and most importantly, actually the most valuable opinion I've gotten on him was from Chris, the guy from our podcast. Chris Byrne spoke very highly about him, said he watched a lot of him this season, and said that he was excellent. He basically said better than Pogba, or like Pogba, sorry, but with a better attitude. That's a very short summarisation of what Chris actually said. To be fair to Chris, he did write out a detailed account, because Chris is good like that. And Chris, I said to you guys before, if you haven't listened to the podcast, listen to it, because you'll really enjoy Chris's opinions, Cash's opinions, and Dave's. But Chris is very good when it comes to the technical aspect of the game, and if Chris backs Nicolas Pepe, then I believe in Chris's opinion. So Sarabia said, I like Pepe, but do you think Pepe will sign for us? I don't know, Epic. I mean, I think he's more likely to sign than Fekir. I think he's more likely to sign than Depay. I would probably say he's more likely to sign than Timo Werner as well. I hope that's in some way helpful, but I don't ever want to give out false information on here, because anything I say is only ever just my opinion. Isaac said Pepe and Depay have had a good season, but it's in a Farmers League, and I don't want to be that disrespectful myself to League On. Craig, don't believe a word that the mank rag the Echo said Craig Crosby. Again, I wouldn't call the Echo a mank rag. I know it is now owned, and I think it's printed in Manchester, if memory serves me correct. But again, I've nothing but respect for James Pearce and some of the other journalists that work for the Echo. Christopher McVicker said, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the Echo say we weren't after Alisson? Yes, I believe so, mate. I absolutely think you're right on that one. Sometimes these things could be put out by the Echo, and I'm just guessing here, to maybe just make sure that nothing is leaked, or make sure that talks can go on calmly and quietly. I don't know, but we do need to get an attacking player, at least one. We need a backup fullback, and then the goalkeeper situation obviously fully depends on what Simon Mignolet decides he wants to do. Lombe said, I feel we won't buy anybody besides Werner. I'd rather Depay. I'd much rather Timo Werner than Memphis Depay personally, because I think Timo Werner has a better attitude. I think Timo Werner has a lot of untapped potential, even though he has done very well at 23 and he's already an established German international. But the more I read up on him, the more I get a sneaky feeling he'll end up at Bayern, you know. Sometimes German players like to stay in Germany, and sometimes German players look at Bayern Munich as the pinnacle and a good way of keeping their international place as well. What position do we need the most? I would say, I know some people would say backup fullback, Aiden, but honestly I think we need another attacker more than anything else. I'd love to know what everybody else in the chat thinks, but for me it's an attacker. It has to be an attacker. Having the front three that we have is sensational. Origi, good as backup, but still a little bit of a drop off if we're being blunt about this. Ryan Brewster, cannot put too much pressure on the kid. I've every faith in him. I think he'll be brilliant. So with 72 possible games coming up, let's just say between 60 and 70 games coming up, you can't expect Bobby Firmino, Salah and Mane to play that many games. We're going to need at least one more attacking player, in my opinion. Mark Elliott said, would love Fekir or Pepe, but we also need a fullback as cover there. Werner won't be able to handle the sound of Anfield. It's a good point, Sam. We know we've heard... Well, I don't want to belittle anybody with noise sensory issues, because I have some myself, but yeah, I mean, he was unable to play the game at the Besiktas Stadium, but that's a little bit different, Sam. That Besiktas Stadium, mate, is a constant, not hissing, but a constant ringing and humming, and there is a massive reverberation through that stadium. The Besiktas fans are very vociferous as well, in a good way. I'm trying to be complimentary towards the Besiktas fans. How about Omar? He'd be a good sub for the team. I seen that he had a late appearance yesterday in the 2-0 win over France for Turkey, Kirby. A name that's gone quiet. A name that was mentioned as a possible Lallana or Shaqiri replacement in the January window. And I have to be honest, mate, I haven't kept... Is it Trabzonspor he played for? I haven't kept track on him since. He was thought of very highly at the time. Everybody is called the Turkish Messi or the French Messi, or, you know, everybody gets called the something Messi, and that was what was labelled with him. But he does seem like he is a talent. Still very young, still very raw, but again, that kind of makes sense for us if that's the type of player we'd be looking for. Claire Dean said Bobby scored for Brazil today in their 7-0 ass kicking of Honduras. Liverpool legend reckons we need a creative midfielder. I'd say somebody like Pepe would be ideal, said Knut Anley. Liam Hunter said backup for Mane. He'd say, yeah, do you know what? I can't disagree with anything you've said there. Neres has gone quiet, Liam. Yes, has anybody seen anything on Neres? That's a very good point, Liam. We haven't spoken about David Neres in a few days now. I haven't seen anything. And again, I keep coming back to the fact that when things are quiet, I always see that as more likely than unlikely. Wow, 455 people currently watching the stream. That is amazing, guys. Thank you. I hope you're all having a lovely weekend. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. We will be starting another giveaway very soon, by the way. I'm just waiting on a couple of things to arrive as samples so I can check them out. But it looks like we're going to be giving away stuff with thanks to the 12thman.com. We're going to be giving away 3 scarves. They're not just any scarves though. I mean, me saying just scarves is completely underselling them. Check out the 12thman.com, and I think we're going to have a discount code as well for people, a 10% discount code if you don't win and you want to go and buy one of those scarves. But these scarves aren't just normal scarves. They're the first of the kind, I believe, in that they play songs. They play music. So Kev got one the other day and it sings LA, LA, LA. And I've always said to you, when we try to partner up with companies, we never want really, well, never say never, but 99% of the time, we try and get stuff to give away rather than income for us, because I love giving stuff away. Connor loves giving stuff away. Who doesn't love giving stuff away? So after Kev being in chats on the Instagram account with the 12men.com, they've kindly given us 3 of these scarves to give away. They've got 3 different songs or 3 different branded scarves, and when I receive them I'll have more details on that. But do keep an eye on the account, because there'll be more giveaways coming up as well, because we keep trying to partner with companies because we like to give stuff back to our subscribers. I want to have a team where I look at the bench and say we have at least 3 or 4 players that can come on and change the game, said Christopher McVicker. I don't think we're that far off that one at the minute, buddy. Yeah, I get where you're coming from, and you look at Manchester City's bench, and that's the level we have to aspire to, because that's who we're up against. So I'm worried if we don't push on in this window and add in a couple of top quality additions. I'm not going to lie, I'll be a little bit worried. I don't like a club ever standing still, and I know that sounds bad because we have come on leaps and bounds, and we're the reigning champions of Europe, and we got 97 points in the Premier League. But there's still always room for improvement, and you've always got to look to be freshening up and adding in new bodies and new blood and putting in competition for places. So I really hope that we bring in a couple of bodies this window. Jamie Vardy, he's too old, buddy, for me to be even considering going to Leicester to try and get out of there. And I'd imagine he turned out Arsenal at one point as well. I imagine Jamie Vardy is comfortable where he is, likes being at Leicester, and just kind of wants to stay there. And could you blame the guy? I mean, what a career he's had, going from non-league football up to winning the Premier League with Leicester. You got to give the guy credit. Larry Lee said, I like winning stuff. I love giving stuff away, Larry, and we've been so fortunate that companies have approached us to work with them this season, and we've built some good relationships with companies like Tree Retro, Score, Draw, and we're going to try and continue to foster those relationships so we can, give back stuff to our subs. Neres still needs to develop at Ajax. Any big club aiming to sign him will be getting another Depay. Great potential, but needs time at his current club. De Ligt and De Jong are world-class type, said Khalil. Yeah, Frankie De Jong, well, he's gone. De Jong is gone, as we know, to Barcelona. De Ligt, I have a little bit of news on, but I'm just trying to even out or spread out the news over the course of the stream and give people a chance to get their comments in on particular players, because I know sometimes in the stream we can talk about a subject, move on a little bit, and then forget some comments. So I'm trying to learn as I go and space things out a little bit as well for everyone. Larry Leach said we could think of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain as a new signing. I mean, yeah, technically. I remember Jurgen Klopp said something similar about James Milner as well, when he decided that, well, he said that Milner wasn't going to be really a left back anymore. It was like, he said it'd be like having a new player in midfield. And you know what? He's proven to be right as well, because James Milner has been sensational. What else we got? Spurs didn't sign anybody last summer and didn't push on, although they did get to the Champions League final. Yeah, I mean, there is that, and the manager can get improvement out of players. Jurgen Klopp has spoken many, many times about sometimes us in England, I say us in England, I mean club-wise or fans of English clubs, can sometimes be a little bit too obsessed with transfers, and that as a coach, his job is to try and improve players that are already there. And yes, that is true to a big extent, but at the same time, you do want to freshen up, and freshening up in competition for places can also bring better performances out of players because they know they're under threat. Fran, I just want to take a second, mate, to apologise again. I genuinely feel terrible about earlier on, mate. I completely misread that, and please accept my apologies, buddy. Let's hope Klopp doesn't feel this squad is complete, just like he believes we can cope with Karius. I don't think he thinks it's complete, but I do think he probably wants to be respectful to the players that are here and that have gotten them to this stage. But I'm with you. I still think we need a couple. Tom said De Ligt and Pepe will sign. Dirty Girl said I'm sure De Ligt could get by on 150 grand a week at 19 years of age. Yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't be struggling for the electricity bill anyway. Epic Amp 3 said, what do you think of Neil Etheridge as a backup goalkeeper? Sound if Mignolet moves on. I said before, I'd have no issues with Etheridge. I'd have had no issues with Adrian. I've had no issues with Pepe Reina. Any of those would be fine with me. But some things may be coming out that maybe Mignolet's alright, which would be interesting. If Mignolet wants to stay at Liverpool Football Club and he back up to Alisson Becker, then I'm absolutely sound with that. How did PSG get away without FFP rules breaking? They have been investigated, mate, and I can't remember what the outcome was, if the truth be told. But there is a little bit on PSG, actually. Do you know what? I have some non-Liverpool transfer speculation, because I know sometimes you have non-Liverpool fans that are in the chat. It's okay, bro. I really didn't mind. I'm still a fan. You're a classy act, Fran. Thank you. And again, apologies, mate. So anyway, non-LFC transfer speculation, which might trigger some stuff around LFC. So bear with me as I go through this. A couple of people mentioned before about Suso, and would Suso perhaps end up back at Liverpool? And I said I didn't think so, but it seems Atletico Madrid are about to bid £40 million for Suso, and AC Milan need to move on some bodies apparently to balance the books with FFP. I've also read, and this is a massive one around PSG, because I know this is probably what that person was talking about when they spoke about how the hell are they not breaking FFP. Antoine Griezmann looks like he is going to head to Paris Saint-Germain, and there is rumours that Edison Cavani could head the other way as part of the deal, which is... it just sums up Griezmann, actually, if I'm being perfectly honest. I know he's gone back to France, but it is a move for one reason and one reason only, in my opinion, and that is a massive chunk of just wages. That's it. Money, and if Griezmann moves to... I don't know. I just don't like Griezmann, really, if I'm being honest. But yeah, it seems Griezmann to PSG is a genuine thing. United have bid £40 million for Wan-Bissaka from Crystal Palace, and that has been turned down, apparently. Kev has put the link in with the discount code as well to the12men.com, so thank you very much for that, Kev. Yeah, so United, it was rumoured they were going to bid for Wan-Bissaka. That's nothing out of the ordinary. But apparently the £40 million bid had been turned down by Crystal Palace. And then there's another one around United. This is the last bit of non-Liverpool news, I promise. United are apparently willing to pay David De Gea £20 million to fuck off, basically. I know that sounds harsh, but without trying to be disrespectful, it does seem like they could be moving him on. And to move him on, they'd have to pay him off, which is why I said they look like they're willing to pay him £20 million to piss off. To PSG, again, being the club linked. And then United apparently want to replace him with Gianluigi Donnarumma from AC Milan, who, as I said, are under FFP pressure to balance the book. So, a couple of things about United there. Wan-Bissaka bid turned down. Apparently, they're willing to pay David De Gea off in order to let him go and join PSG, and they want to replace him with Gianluigi Donnarumma. Look, I promise that's the last of the non-Liverpool stuff. I just wanted to, let a couple of people in the chat who weren't Liverpool fans have a little bit of something to talk about as well. PSG is so Griezmann, said Boris. It really is, buddy, isn't it? Griezmann, I like that. As in greasy, said Dirty Girl. Well in. Crystal Palace want 50 million, said Press Mane, for Wan-Bissaka. He does seem like a very, very good player, Wan-Bissaka. If he's worth 50 million, I don't know. But then again, that seems to be the going price for a fullback these days, doesn't it? Griezmann, that was exactly what I read today. Also, they have to pay for Mbappe this summer, said Escapado007. Griezmann equals greedy man, said Robert O'Reilly. Can't help but feel City had it easy. All the clubs just rolled over too easily for them. Against Liverpool, they tried their damnedest. Next season's going to be different, said Cape Town Muslim. I hope so. I do hope so, mate. Which is why, again, it leads back to us strengthening, because we have... Look, the Community Shield isn't really a biggie, nor is the European Super Cup, because they're only one game in each. And then you've got the 2 games for the World Club Cup if you get to the final, which does involve some travelling to Qatar. But if we want to challenge for those domestic trophies as well, then yeah, we need a stronger squad. We need to be able to rotate and not have a massive drop off in level. PSG don't need players to win the league, said Y17. Yeah, but they're trying to win the Champions League, mate. That's the thing. And I don't think they'll ever win the Champions League. And by ever, I genuinely do mean ever. De Gea is a great player, said it's Fran. Yes, he is. And I know he's had a bad year, buddy. And I know... But think of how many years he carried that Manchester United team. So I fully agree with you, Fran. I think he's a very good player. Any update on the subscriber 11? No, I completely forgot about it. Hand on heart, Adam, I completely forgot about it. And the more I think about it now, it's a bit of a dick thing to do, isn't it? Because I'm going to make 11 people probably happy and then piss off hundreds of other people who feel like they'd be overlooked. So maybe you guys could put together your own subscriber 11s, and that means that I'm not going to be under the gun. Sell De Gea, he saved him countless times. It's mad, isn't it? It is absolute madness. I would keep David De Gea if I was Manchester United, unless of course De Gea wants to move on, and that could be the real thing behind this. Neymar, Griezmann and Mbappe will be the second best front 3, I think, said Prez Mane. I think Neymar has thoughts on wanting to move back to Barcelona, from what I've read. Madrid had showed an interest, but then somewhere I read that Neymar only wants to go to Barcelona or nothing. Why would United have to pay De Gea? To move him on, to get his wages off the books, and to kind of, I suppose, appease the deal that would be going to PSG. He probably has loyalty bonuses and stuff that he's due for the time he's been at the club. They probably have to pay off the remainder of his contract, Crosby read. And it might also be a way to help with a transfer fee for Paris Saint-Germain to help them with their FFP stuff as well. But I would imagine most of it's probably due to loyalty bonuses and the remainder of his contract. Isn't United also rumoured to be willing to pay half a Sanchez salary to open up some wages? I would imagine that they're willing to get rid of him. Not only yes, 450 grand a week or something for a lad that's going around making DVDs is madness. Do you think VVD will win the Ballon d'Or even though we lost the Nations League final? I think it's a genuine 50-50, Ibrahim, between himself and Lionel Messi. For me, Van Dijk should win it, but of course I'm going to say that because I'm going to be biased because I'm a Liverpool fan. But if he doesn't win the Ballon d'Or, and I know Cannavaro won it back in 2006, but when will be the next time a defender is going to ever win it if Van Dijk doesn't win it this season for the performances that he's put in both in the Premier League, in the Nations League with Holland, and of course in the Champions League, which he won with Liverpool. So for me it's going to be a close one, but I would be disappointed if he didn't win it, for football's sake as well as anything else. Nagabe said Liverpool should bid for Alderweireld. Yeah, 25 million apparently is a clause in his contract this year that he can leave Spurs for. It seems like a good way of allowing younger players to develop. Kiana Hoover as well, of course, who's probably a year away from being a serious first team contender. Prez Mane said the best front three in the world: Mane, Firmino, and Salah. I cannot disagree with you, man. I cannot disagree with you. Champions of Europe. Somebody said something about expressions a while back, and I wanted to read up on that because I missed the comment. So let me just scroll back through here. Oh, here we go. Craig was disappointed with expressions. Watch the stream. He said he stayed on the coach in Madrid for a bit because Liverpool fans were there and he didn't want his stuff stolen, basically. I don't know what to say, man. I didn't see that clip. I hope he didn't say that. I hope he didn't. That's the exact type of stereotypical stuff we don't want to be hearing. And I cannot say anything because I haven't seen the clip. But I hope to goodness he didn't suggest that, because even if he's going to say it's banter, it's not great, to be fair. But again, I haven't seen the clip, so it's not fair for me to judge. What else we got? Craig, when are you uploading the Crack On channel, or on the Crack On channel? We're still trying to decide what we want the first video to be. We were talking about this yesterday, actually, myself and Connor. Soon enough, Isaac, soon enough, mate. It's just been so busy on here that we haven't had a chance to really think about it. There's been loads of stuff going on with Liverpool winning the Champions League and transfer speculation, and we just haven't got around to it. And Connor's busy as well. But we'll get there. We'll get there as quick as we can. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit fun on there, a little bit off the wall, so don't be expecting Liverpool related stuff on there. John Hamilton said, I personally wouldn't pay any player, current or past, 250 grand a week. Well, that's the way of the world these days, unfortunately, John. The way players are going, the way money in the game is going, you're going to have to start paying the top players that type of a wage. I know to us normal folk it seems madness, but it is what the going rate seems to be for a good or high-end football player at this moment in time. Any news on Ziyech? Nothing. I keep repeating, I've never seen anything on Ziyech to Liverpool except Liverpool fans suggesting that they like him. Other than that, I've seen nothing on him. Right, let me scroll back down. Sorry, I know I went back through there to catch up with that expressions comment. We're going to get João Felix. I don't think we will. And I'd seen the Benfica, was it the president of Benfica or something, come out and say that for them, ideally they'd like to try and do a deal where they sell João Felix and then they get him back on loan for a year. But if somebody was to come in and pay 105 or 120 million quid to loan a player back for a year, that is craziness in my eyes. But look, strange things happen in football, so you never know. What else have we got? Joanne said, Craig and everybody okay? I'm excellent, thank you, Joanne. Been to Blackpool Gay Pride yesterday, missed much. Not really on here, it's been fairly quiet, Joanne. I hope you had a great day at Pride. I hope it was fun. I don't know what the weather was like in the UK, but I hope it was nice. I hope everybody had a good time. Klopp will evolve our team again and add a new dimension, just like he did from last season to this at Cape Town Muslim. Over 500 people now watching the stream, which is so cool. Thank you. On a Sunday night as well. Did people enjoy the Nations League final? I know, mate, we've a lot of English people watching, and congratulations on your penalty shootout win over Switzerland. Being blunt, I watched both games today, and England absolutely deserved to win that game, to be fair. They missed a half full of stuff. Raheem Sterling, who was an excellent player, didn't really have his greatest day today, but I think England did deserve that one. Craig, does winning the FA Cup mean anything anymore? It's one of those things, isn't it, AJ? I get where you're coming from. And maybe, I suppose this is one we can put to the chat. What do you guys think about the FA Cup? Does it mean anything anymore? I see it as a competition that if you start getting towards the quarters and the semis, you want to win it. But until then, yeah, I probably don't really care much about it, mate. But at the end of the day, there's only 4 domestic trophies, including the Champions League. Well, I say domestic, 3 domestic and the Champions League that you can realistically play for every season. Of course, we've got the Community Shield and we've got the World Club Cup and the European Super Club, but the big ones every season are just 4. So, you know what I mean? A trophy's a trophy, and I like being in the habit of winning, and Liverpool have lifted the first cup under Jurgen Klopp, and I'd like them to keep going on and lift them more. Now, if we finish the season with just an FA Cup, I don't know how I judge the season, because I suppose I'd have to see where we were in the league and I'd have to see where we went in the Champions League. But I wouldn't mind an FA Cup, mate, I have to say. I'd prefer an FA Cup to a League Cup, but then again, what does everybody else think about the FA Cup? Stevie Richards said, I'm still not a fan of international football. Nice Day said, Trent created 7 chances for his team today. Pontin Soccer Academy. I will get on to De Ligt, mate, in 2 seconds. You said the FA Cup was for the reserves, though, let's be real. Yeah, but you still want to win it, though, when you get to the quarters and the semis, don't you? The FA Cup magic is great, said Param. It's great for the lower league teams, yeah, I get it. And I like the idea that... Am I wrong in saying that, is it in the German Cup, or there's some cup, I think, some European cup where the bigger teams are always away, or away for the majority of the rounds. I like the idea of the smaller teams getting home draws. I don't like this whole thing about them getting a home draw and then switching it so they can make more money, which I completely understand from a financial aspect, but the old cup upsets are great to watch. So sometimes going and seeing the likes of Liverpool, City, United, Arsenal having to go and play on a bobbly pitch that's nowhere near the levels that they're used to playing on, and having the ball being in the air for 70% of the game can be interesting to see how people deal with, although probably not the best spectacle to watch. Tom Jones said, I like the FA Cup. The League Cup is banter now, though. FA Cup equals place in Europe. Best trophies equals Premier League and the Champions League, said Cobra. Mid-table team in the Premier League got smashed 6-0, so no, it's not taken seriously, said Adam Parks. Domestic Butler said, like and sub everybody, and please do. Everybody please do hit that subscribe button. Connor's going to be uploading the 3 clips that we filmed yesterday over the coming week or so. So I think the first clip that Connor is going to be uploading, and I think it might be tomorrow, but it could be the day after, will be a 15 or 20 minute video that myself, Connor and Brian recorded yesterday, talking about whether we believe Virgil van Dijk should and will win the Ballon d'Or. So I'm bringing it up because somebody mentioned it earlier on in the stream, and I just want to remind people that we did actually film a segment on this that Connor's just editing at the minute, and we'll be putting that up over the next 24 or 48 hours or so. Silverware, I take it, we'd 7 years to wait, said Yasser, excuse me. Ronnie Galloway said, any idea what colour the third kit will be? Black and teal, I believe, Ronnie. Teal being like a bluey, greeny... Sorry, that might be condescending. You might very well know what teal is. The only reason I'm explaining it is I didn't know what teal was. So, yeah, it's kind of a bluey, greeny kit. Or bluey, greeny writing on a black kit, from what I can gather, Ronnie. You mean like playing at Burnley, said Brett. Yeah, but without the fractured leg for Gomez, hopefully. Tom Boland said, like the stream please everybody and subscribe. I love that you guys do my work for me. At times it's great, thank you. Love it, more of that please. Will you be watching Ireland versus Gibraltar tomorrow? Depends how my day is going, James. Connor actually has media pass for that game. Yes, Anfield Agenda do get media passes to the FAI games, which is great as well. I don't know if Connor's going up to it, I forgot to ask him, but yeah, I don't have a media pass because I didn't actually apply for this one because you guys know I'm not really a massive fan of international football. But yeah, Connor has a media pass to it. I'm not sure if he's going or not, but I suppose, James, it'll probably depend on what I'm doing, mate. Craig always wanted us to play Accrington Stanley in the Cup. I can get that, but we'd absolutely spank them, but it would be nice. And what I love about Liverpool though, Stephen, is that we do generally try to get a friendly in against Tranmere or local clubs as well over the summer, which I like about the club. There's a bit of social conscience there as well. Saeed said, I'd like us to win the League Cup this season. Who do I think VVD's best centre-back partner is? From what we have with the club, Joe Gomez. I think they complement each other excellently. Now, I don't want to disrespect Joel Matip and the tremendous effort he put in this season and the quality of how he played, but for me, Joe Gomez, beside Virgil van Dijk, is just perfect. Kev has a question for the group. Does anybody know when the Charity Shield tickets go on sale? Now, I know it's Sunday the 4th of August, I think, Kev, which isn't really helpful to you, I know, but maybe somebody in the chat will be able to give you that information. Where is the Super Cup going to be played? It is going to be played the Vodafone Arena in Istanbul, which is Besiktas Stadium, Gary. I think we should just concentrate on the Community Shield, Super Cup, League Cup, FA Cup, World Club Cup, Premier League and the Champions League, said Paul Turner. There's quite a lot of competitions there, mate, isn't there? How do you get a blue wrench? You pretty much can't, is the honest answer at this moment in time, Mark. We've got so many wonderful moderators that look after the chat for us that I think we have enough at the moment, mate. But basically what the moderators are, they're just people that we have been here a long time and people that we have given the responsibility of keeping an eye on the chat for us, removing people that are trolling, removing people that are spamming, being abusive, and stuff like that really. I like the black kit, when is it out? I genuinely haven't. Or you like this black kit, when is it out? I don't know. I'd be guessing Dirty Girl. I would imagine July at some point, probably. But I genuinely don't know. I love the World Cup and the Euros, but friendlies are so boring, said Familiar to Billions. Do you think we could swoop in ahead of them for Bruno Fernandes? Do I have anything on Bruno Fernandes? Connor is desperate for Liverpool to sign Bruno Fernandes, by the way. We know Manchester United have been linked to him. It seems like he's Premier League bound. Whether it's Liverpool, United or Manchester City, I suppose is yet to be seen, but it would be very strange for him to go and sign for Manchester City after publicly saying how he'd prefer to play for Liverpool over Manchester City. So, I don't know. But as I said, Connor really wants him. I know Chris thinks very highly of him as well, but he said he'd prefer Pepe. Bruno Fernandes likes a long range shot as well, and he's had a very good season with Sporting Lisbon, so it's another good show. Craig, I used to have an association with Tranmere. They're like a little brother, said Stephen Richards. Well, Cash, as you know, Stephen Cash from our podcast, Cash does some stuff with Tranmere Rovers from time to time as well. Okay, so let's get on to Matthijs de Ligt, because I know that's a name a lot of people are tuning in to hear about tonight. And the title of the stream was, I suppose, basically aiming at Matthijs de Ligt. So, here we go. Are we ready? I left it purposely until we're about 45 minutes in, so I don't have to go over it a few times, which sounds like a shitty thing for me to say, but I'm always mindful that I don't want to be boring people as well. So, Matthijs de Ligt's agent, Mino Raiola, believes Anfield will be an ideal destination for the 19-year-old Ajax captain, according to the Mirror. The centre-back would pair up with Holland partner and world-class defender Virgil van Dijk if he moves to Liverpool. However, the Reds have outlined that they're not willing to spend the amount of money, the teenage star's signature would command. It's strange, this one. I want to kind of do this story in the timeline that I've roughly remember it. So, obviously when Matthijs de Ligt was known that he was going to be moving this summer, we all wanted him. Everybody said that they wanted to sign him. The first thing that I'd seen then was something come out in the Echo that said that Jurgen Klopp is happy with his centre-back options and has no plans on making a move for anybody in that position. Now, I think that's naive. I think we should move on Dejan Lovren. That's my opinion. I think he's getting to an age where he's starting to pick up more and more injuries. But I've nothing but respect for Degsy Lovren. But football is a clinical business at time, and there's not really much room for sentiment in the game these days. If a player like Matthijs de Ligt becomes available, whether it's 65 or 70 million quid, even though he does have a lot of developing to do and he does have some holes in his game, he's not perfect, but why would he be? He's 19 years of age. I think he should be in that conversation. Now, we have a relationship with Mino Raiola to an extent because we brought Balotelli to the club and other players that Raiola has worked with. United also have a very good relationship with Mino Raiola, but if you're Matthijs de Ligt, is United an attractive option for you? Unless, of course, you're given a massive wage and that's your what's what I'm looking for, enthusiasm, or that's what you want from the game is money, and you're going to be a multi-millionaire regardless. At 19 years of age, you're going to get a good wage wherever you go. I don't know on this one. I think we probably won't sign him. PSG again have been mentioned with it, but if they're going to be signing Griezmann and they're going to be looking at David De Gea, I can't realistically see them being in the market for Matthijs de Ligt or being able to buy Matthijs de Ligt without taking the piss out of FFP completely. So then that you're looking at Manchester City, who might need a centre back. I haven't heard much about them with Matthijs de Ligt, to be fair. Barcelona have lost out on Griezmann, so maybe they've signed Frankie de Jong for 75 million, and it's rumoured that Matthijs de Ligt was Barcelona bound. That's what everybody had heard. Then there was a story that came out that said that Barcelona are unwilling to pay Mino Raiola's reported fee of 11 odd million pound or something like that. Again, take that with a pinch of salt because none of us know the ins and outs. Is this Barcelona just trying to get a better deal? Is it Mino Raiola now trying to hawk his agent around, or his client around other clubs to try and just get Barcelona to hurry up with the deal? For me, I think he ends up at Barcelona. But I've always said I want us to be in the conversation for when a player like that becomes available, particularly with the strong financial position Liverpool are in right now, and the fact that we spoke at the start of the stream about Liverpool looking to potentially bring in as much as £100 million from sales this summer. So again, what do you guys think on this? Let me know what you think. You've probably seen all the things I've read, and you've probably made your own mind up on this one. And try and give me not a want answer, a genuine what you believe answer. Do you think Matthijs de Ligt will end up at Liverpool? Are the friendlies at the Aviva this? I don't think so, Fran, mate. Not that I've seen. I don't think Liverpool certainly aren't coming over, Fran, but I don't know if there's any other friendlies. I haven't really been paying much attention to other clubs. I know Arsenal were over, United were over previously as well, so I don't know, buddy, is the honest answer. I don't like how De Ligt gives away lots of penalties. Does he? I don't know, Hansi, mate. I haven't seen statistics for the amount of penalties he's given away. Mark Anthony Vieira said, if Matip or Lovren puts in a transfer request, then another centre-back is coming in. I don't think they'd be putting in a transfer request. They'd lose out on any potential loyalty bonuses and any potential income from the movement of them to another club. I think whatever it is, 5-10%, whatever it is they get, they'd lose out on that and their loyalty bonuses that they'd be entitled to as well. So it's quite unusual for a player to push to a transfer request. United is a mess many clubs want, such as Liverpool, Barca, City and Juve, PSG. I'd go to one of them, said Millsy. Fabinho can also play as a centre-back. Yep, he can, but you'll be losing out, and you don't want... We're in a position now where we have a world-class defensive midfielder, and I know Henderson can fill in there, I know Milner can fill in there, I know Gini can fill in there if needs be, and I even reckon Matip could probably step up and play that position. But at the same time, that's what we bought Fabinho for, so if we dropped him into centre-back, we're losing something in defensive midfield, so I'd rather we just didn't use him there, personally. You can also play it right-back as well. Aidan Andrews said, I don't think that De Ligt will sign. Sadly, De Ligt is Barca bound, said Param. De Ligt's absolutely 0% joining, said Brian Morrissey. Don't think we'll sign De Ligt, said Fran Dowling. De Ligt's motivation to move is all about money. I personally don't think he deserves to wear the red shirt, said Kev. If De Ligt's motivation, I should say, sorry. Knut said, I would like to invest in another attacker and let Gomez develop with a lot of play in the coming season. Maybe another creative midfielder, depending on Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's situation. Yeah, look, for me, Van Dijk and Gomez will be the first choice centre-back pair. And I hope to God that Gomez doesn't pick up another serious injury, because he's been so unlucky in his career so far to have had 2 serious injuries. Is it 2 or 3? At least 2 I can remember. And he's quality. He's absolute quality when he's fit and available. So I hope that's the end of his major his major injury issues. What's your opinion on Fekir? I love him, Lloyd, is my opinion. I love him, and I would love him at this football club. But again, I think that one was put to bed last summer when we didn't buy him. And I know there's rumours going around that he's going to be available for as little as 15 million, but I think that's horseshit, if I'm being honest. I mean, even with a year left, Jean-Michel Aulas is a tough negotiator, and he's not going to let Fekir go for 15 million quid. He's worth more than that, even with just a year left on his deal. I think he'll go to PSG. We could go for Boateng. What do you think? Boateng's finished, Liam. He's shite at this moment in time. Jerome Boateng, I mean, Bayern Munich can't wait to get him out the door. Germany basically retired him, I believe. He's just not good enough, mate. I would rather Nat Phillips play than Jerome Boateng, if I'm being honest. He was a great defender, but he's absolutely finished from what I've seen. Roberto was in. How are you, buddy? I hope you're keeping well. Liverpool legend said, no, not if he thinks he can just become our most highly paid player. He needs to earn that money. And which is what Liverpool tend to do with players. They bring them in, they give them a decent wage, and then they say to them, from what I can gather, excuse me, this sounds like I know what's going on. No, but from what we can gather, and the proof I suppose is in the pudding, Liverpool have brought players in, said to them, hey look, we'll give you a highly incentivised contract. You do well and you'll be rewarded. And then what we've seen is a player come in like Mohamed Salah, like Sadio Mane, like Virgil van Dijk will probably get a new contract, like Bobby Firmino. They've come in, they've proven just how good they are, and then the club tie them down to new deals quickly because they've learned lessons from fucking up with Raheem Sterling. If the truth be told, he should have been given a new deal after his great season in 13-14. So yeah, I think the club have learned their lessons, and we are willing to pay players that prove that they deserve that wage, and I think it's the right thing to do from the club. But at the same time, it would be naive of me to say that there isn't a kind of a going wage that a particular calibre of player is going to be offered at other clubs. And whilst we probably won't compete with the 450 grand a week wages, I don't think there's any problem with Liverpool paying between 150 to say 250, 300 grand a week if it's a player Jurgen Klopp really, really believes that is the right fit for the squad. Domestic Butler said really want De Ligt to come in, would be perfect for Liverpool. Ashwan said, in my opinion, De Ligt's wages scream trouble for the club. Yes, so let's just say De Ligt comes in on 150 grand a week. Let's be very generous and say, not generous, I mean generous for us and mean for him, 150 grand a week. He's 19 years of age. What happens when he turns 21 years of age and he wants to renegotiate his contract, and then he wants 250 grand a week? And then he's 23 years of age and he wants to renegotiate his contract and he wants 400 grand a week. And he's still not even in his peak. So I can see the issues there with players if you get him in that early and are paying on that much of a wage. Fran said, I'd love to see Liverpool play again. Remember they played Rovers at the Aviva a few years ago? Yeah, I do. I was actually... A friend of my wife's played in that game for Rovers, and they also played Celtic as well in the Dublin Decider, I believe it was called, if memory serves correct. The money's there now, time to pounce. My only concern is upsetting the apple cart with the squad, said Stephen Richards. James Maddison is an all-rounder and would really fit Klopp's style. I love Maddison as well. I think he'd be a very good addition, but with only being at Leicester for 1 year and the figure being mentioned, 60 million, I mean, I'd be okay paying 60 million actually, if I'm being honest. I think he's a great player, James Maddison. I have a feeling he'll probably stay 1 more year with Leicester. I think he probably believes he owes that to Leicester. But if Boy is still in the chat, I'd love his thoughts on what's going on with James Maddison. De Ligt still needs to learn and grow, said Boris B. He'll ruin his career going to PSG, another fickle club. Again, any more comments on De Ligt, guys? Keep them coming. He works wonders with players like that, said David Ford. Do you think Origi will sign a new deal, and what's your opinion on him? Yes, I do think he'll sign a new deal, and my opinion on him is that he's still a couple of years away from being in his prime, and I think there's a player in there. I do. I've always only had a concern, Liam, that we might not have the time to be able to afford him to continue his development, but whatever we say about him, whatever we think about maybe inconsistencies, he has shown in big moments that he's there and he will be counted, and he scored in the Champions League final. He scored a couple in the Champions League semi-final. He scored important goals for us this year, and that goal in the final against Spurs, that was quality. On his left foot as well, back across the goalkeeper to kill off the game. I don't think Jurgen Klopp will forget things like that either. So there was a report actually, and this leads me into it nicely, so thank you for that. Where is it? So there was rumours that Liverpool were looking at Moussa Dembele, who I kept calling Ousmane Dembele because I'm an idiot. There was reports that Liverpool were interested in Moussa Dembele, but the Star have said that Liverpool have ended those reports those interests because they believe in Divock Origi and that Jurgen Klopp wants to reward Divock Origi. So again, that to me makes perfect sense because I think Divock Origi has deserved and earned a new contract at the club. Harry, I've literally just gone through De Ligt 2 minutes ago, buddy, so I can't go through it again, mate. Scared De Ligt would make Gomez move, said Ronnie. I don't think so, mate. I mean, 3 top quality centre backs for 2 positions, and then then say having Matip there as well. The problem for me for signing De Ligt would be Kiana Hoover. That's where I'd see an issue. If you sign Matthias de Ligt, then what do you say to Kiana Hoover? Sorry, mate, but we have Virgil van Dijk, Joe Gomez, and we're after bringing in this other superstar 19-year-old from the same club that we got you from. And I know you're developing really well, and I know you're getting rave reviews and putting in great performances, but sorry. Yeah, it's not a very Jurgen Klopp thing to do. And Kiana Hoover is looking like quality. He's looking like an absolute superstar as well, so I would rather probably do the Toby Alderweireld thing if needs be and spend 25 million to get a couple of years out of him whilst allowing Kiana Hoover to develop, because he looks like he's going to be a superstar. Really good option. Dara said we don't need De Ligt. What else we got? Basically, I don't want De Ligt, said Stephen Richards. A centre-half partnership of Van Dijk and De Ligt at Anfield will be a force for 10 years, said Brett. But again, I think maybe some people have forgotten about Kiana Hoover here, or maybe people just don't rate Kiana Hoover, I don't know. But for me, like with Rhian Brewster, the reason I'm thinking we might bring one attacking player in and not 2 is because without a shadow of a doubt, a conversation will have been had between Jurgen Klopp and Ryan Brewster that made Ryan Brewster decide to sign that professional contract with Liverpool Football Club. And I would imagine that conversation was something along the lines of just being shown that there is a pathway for him and that it won't be blocked by bringing in players. Because a lot of clubs around Europe were fighting for that kid, and Jurgen Klopp went out of his way, worked really hard to make sure that he convinced Ryan Brewster that Liverpool was the place to continue his development as a footballer, and I think we're going to see the benefits of that. Don't rock the boat, said Boris. We need a target man, said Evan Power, a creative midfielder and a backup left back, and then it'll be a successful window. A target man? I never like hearing that phrase with Liverpool, mate. I think I said this yesterday, it certainly is a time and a place where going long can be an option. I'm somebody that liked what Pep Guardiola said, and if plan A isn't working, you need to revisit plan A. I like that. But we have Virgil van Dijk, we have Joe Gomez, if we need to lump the ball forward, we've centre-backs that can go up there and do that job. So for me, I know Klopp has played with a big front man before. I just don't want it at Liverpool at this moment in time. And I know Max Cruz has been linked, so it could be foolish of me to say silly when we've been linked with the guy from Werder Bremen, who's 31 years of age, and I believe is exactly that. The creative midfielder, yes, or a forward, or another wide forward. I don't care which one. We just need somebody who can swap into that front three to give them a rest. And the backup left back is very interesting because I keep saying about Adam Lewis. I think Adam Lewis could be that backup left back. I think Jurgen Klopp might allow him that development, and whilst that sounds scary, I mean, you think to yourself it's going to be a massive drop off from Andy Robertson to Adam Lewis. Yes, but Trent, look what happened with Trent when he got given his chance. He took it with both arms. So I know Adam Lewis is thought of very highly as well by the under-23s coach. Brewster was told he'd be promoted to the first team squad as Sturridge's replacement, said John Hamilton. Who's going to be back up for Robertson next season? I've just gone through that one. I think we should sell both Wilson and Woodburn. Yes and yes. And on Harry Wilson, I have read something on Harry Wilson. Where is it? Right, so this is what I read today. Liverpool are willing to sell Harry Wilson if they receive an offer in the region of £21 million, according to the Mail. 21 million is a very fucking specific number, isn't it? The report also claims that Wilson is keen to fight for his place at Liverpool, but Jurgen Klopp is ready to cash in and let him move on elsewhere. Now, we'd seen Southampton linked with him. We'd seen Leicester linked with him. I'm trying to think of who else had been linked. Was Bournemouth linked with Wilson? And I personally think we'll sell him. I think we'll sell him, and I keep saying about this buyback clause or the first refusal clause. That's what I think will happen. And I know that doesn't sit well with a lot of people, that a lot of people think Wilson's going to be quality. But just remember where we're at right now as a football club. And 5, 6, 7 years ago, Wilson would probably be the type of player that we'd be keeping at the club and we'd be banking on, or rolling the dice on, I should say. Right now, we don't have that luxury, I don't think. We need players who are going to come in and do a job. And from what I've seen of Wilson, he's not quite there yet. He has amazing highs and a great highlight reel of goals this season. But as I said, from what I've seen, he's dropped in and out of games in the few times I've seen him. And I would back Jurgen Klopp on this. I think move him on. He didn't light up the championship with Derby. Like, he wasn't the standout player of the league, which I would want him to be if he's going to come and then play Champions League football and challenge for the Premier League with Liverpool. So I agree with moving him on. The 21 million is very specific, but we had seen 20 to 25 million as a figure that was constantly mentioned. So again, I would love your thoughts on this, ladies and gents. Don't forget to keep hitting that subscribe button as well, ladies and gents. We're just a couple off 16,750 as we try and hit 17k this season. Well, over the summer, I should say. The season's over. So yeah, if you are enjoying the stream, please do hit that button. Every single subscription helps. And of course, don't forget to turn notifications on as well. Maybe you're somebody that just sits back and doesn't like to comment. I know a lot of people are like that as well. If you don't want to comment, but you want to put something in, I love to know where people are watching. So maybe let me know where in the world you're watching. Yeah, I'm really interested, genuinely really interested about stuff like that. Willow's in. How are you, Willow? I hope you're keeping well. I'd rather buy a creative midfielder than a centre-back and another forward, said Skipper Dog. The creative midfielder thing, I don't know, I might just have a problem with that phrase, creative midfielder, because I don't really see much of a difference between a creative midfielder or a wide forward, or somebody that can play across the front three, because with the system that we play, even a creative midfielder is still going to have a job to do defensively. So Naby Keita can do that job. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain can do that job. Fekir, if he came in, which he won't be by the looks of it, could do that job. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just blinded by the idea of having another, what's the word I'm looking for here? Utility front man that can play anywhere across the front three. Kieran said Origi's our target man. He's a giant. Do you think Hoover can play at left back? Possibly, Scotty, yeah. I think he has played at right back, unless I'm wrong. I know he's played at full back. I thought it was on the right hand side. Watching in Waterford, said Stannis Rex. How are you, buddy? Welcome. Brian Morrissey's from Waterford, so there you go. Two people from the same county. Czech Republic, said Martin. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Martin. I hope you're keeping well. Birmingham for Josh. Nice one. Never been to Birmingham, mate. I must pay to visit sometime. Up Hanley Duck Stoke, said McMac. Wembley, London. Are we getting Pepe? I would say he is more plausible than some of the other options, but again, we're all just, it's guesswork, mate. We're all just trying to piece together the little pieces we can see in the media and some common sense. I would imagine there's going to be movement over the coming weeks, because the AFCON is coming up as well. The Copa America is coming up. The Nations League just finished. Whether players might want to get their moves sorted out before going on holiday, I don't know. I hope so. And when Liverpool Football Club is quiet, that's when stuff usually happens. And the club is being quiet, so I'm fully expecting some news over the coming days. But again, please don't think I'm saying that from a position of knowing anything. I 100% know jack shit about transfers. I'm Norwegian, said Knupp. Brilliant. Loads of amazing Reds that I've met, mate, from Norway over the years. So many. And I know you guys travel over in your droves to Anfield every week as well. So yeah, there's a huge Norwegian contingent to the Reds. And again, another place I'd love to go and visit someday. I spoke about us partnering up with somebody before. I think I said this to you yesterday. And I said I couldn't really give you too many details. We're still finalising things, but there's a new Irish supporters club after coming up called the Irish Cop. And I've been speaking to the gentleman that's involved in running that, and we've always said that we want to do watch-alongs. We want to go out to pubs and meet supporters clubs and do watch-alongs and stuff. And I seen that they were looking to do the same thing, kind of have a travelling Irish supporters club that goes around to meet other supporters clubs and say hi. And I just thought it was a perfect fit. And when I spoke to I don't want to give the guy's name away because he's still trying to remain confidential at the minute, and that's his own prerogative. Yeah, we're going to be doing stuff with them. So we're going to be travelling around Ireland, meeting other supporters clubs, hopefully, filming stuff with there, doing watch-alongs and catch-ups with supporters clubs around Ireland. But I don't want to limit us to just Ireland. I've said this before. Myself and Connor and Brian, we're willing to travel. We want to go over to the UK. We want to meet supporters clubs there. We want to go over to America, Canada, Europe. So if you run a supporters club, or you run a bar, it's a Liverpool bar, or you're involved in a Liverpool bar, and you want to get us over, hit us up. I mean, we love to travel. We love to go over and meet fans, and we want to film live watch-alongs this season, as well as, of course, doing the ones on here on the channel of me just sitting here. But yeah, it's what this channel's always been about, is reaching out and meeting new Reds, and we couldn't think of anything better to do than to physically go out there and meet some new Reds. So looking forward to doing some stuff at the Irish Cop. We're meeting up over the coming weeks to really sit down and nail home a plan about what we can do and how we can move forward and how we can benefit each other and, you know, make more content along the way. Much love from Munchen Gladbach, said Jamie. Love right back at you, buddy, from sunny Wexford. Up Galway, did I ever tell you I'm from Galway? Said no, actually, Dave, you didn't. I'm embarrassed to say, Dave, I've never been to Galway. I've never been to Galway. I've never been to Kerry. I think they're the only two counties in Ireland I haven't been to. I think. Where is the Irish Cop? As I just said, Scotty buddy, it's a new supporters club that's not really going to have a home as such. It's going to be made up of fans from around the country, and they are going to travel to other supporters clubs and do it that way. It's a little bit different, which is what intrigued me about it so much. Heme said, watching in Sussex near Brighton, really think we'll sign at least one person this week. I'm with you, mate. I think we'll see a signing as well. Matt Coldwell said, Craig, Bruno Fernandes to announce his future in the coming days. He's been quoted as saying, it's a club with great history. Don't say that around Connor, Matt, because every day Connor is sending me messages saying, Bruno Fernandes, I want Bruno Fernandes. Even today, watching this Portugal game, want Bruno Fernandes, was the messages coming from a very hungover Connor Crosby today. I think United fans are a bit confident, that they might be signing Bruno Fernandes. What do you guys think? Have you seen much on this? Luke said, hey Craig, sorry I haven't been in the stream. My life's been messed up. Firstly, mate, you need to change your damn icon. We've changed our logo, buddy. You need the newer one. I'm only joking, Luke. Firstly, seriously, I hope you're okay. I'm sorry to hear your life's been messed up, mate. I don't want to pry. It's your own business, but I just want you to know that everybody here is supportive of you, mate, and we've all got your back, and we all love you, and I'm sure everybody's is going to send you best wishes, mate, because you've been around a long time, Luke, and I'm sorry to hear you're going through a bad time, mate. Neil Gordon's in California. Great Liverpool bar down in San Diego. If plans go my way, Neil, I could be in California towards the end of the year, maybe the beginning of next year, but there is a Holden family trip in the offing for Vegas and California, so I don't want to promise you anything, but I'm going to try my best, mate, to get over there. If we sell Mignolet, would you give Kelleher or Grabara a spot? I would, Lloyd. I absolutely would give Queevy and Kelleher the shot, but I would imagine we'd probably bring in a steadier pair of hands. It's kind of a bugbear of mine that we have young goalkeepers coming through and we never seem to give them a chance. Even as a backup, it pisses me off to some extent. Queevy and Kelleher looks like a decent keeper. Grabara looks like a good keeper. Hand on heart, I haven't seen much of Shamal George, so I can't really give an honest, in-depth opinion on him. And I like that both Queevy and Kelleher and Grabara backed themselves as well. So for me, I would, but I don't think it will happen. Watching in London, said Nageb. Brilliant, thank you very much, mate. In Willesden. Craig, all this talk has made me open up the crumpets. Oh, I love toasted crumpets, Stephen. What else we got? Pepper Red's in the house. How are you, buddy? Kieran Aaron said, United fans are a different breed. They think they've already signed De Ligt, Bruno Fernandes, and who else is that one? Somebody else who said, and they're just keeping it a secret. Yeah, did you see, somebody mentioned it to me yesterday as well, Moreno has been linked with a potential move to Newcastle if that ownership group takes over. Somebody said, I hope you get whatever's going on figured out, sooner the better. Knut said with regards to Luke, I hope it, I'm assuming it was with regards to Luke, mate. Visit the Sunshine State of Florida. We got Disney and crazy people here. I've been there 5 years in a row. This is actually the first year in 6 years, Param, that we haven't gone back to Florida. We were there in October, and the one before, and the one before, and the one before, and then the June before that. Yeah, my family absolutely adored it, mate. Kids have been to Disney, kids have been to Universal, kids have been to Daytona, pretty much Legoland. We adored Florida, but time to move on and look around America a bit more, because as you know, my plan is to emigrate to America at some point with the family, and Florida and Texas and California are the states that we were considering as possible places to move to, which is why we spent so much time in Florida. And Florida is definitely great. I love Florida, but I do want to see Texas. I do want to see California as well. Breadsticks. I think it would be a big mistake not to sign a striker / winger at the same level as Mo Salah or Sadio Mane in this window. Yes, I'm very much of the same mindset, mate. I'm with you on that one. Brandon Good said in pre-season we play Grabara and Kelleher. I think they'll get some game time, yeah, and then maybe a decision will be made about what will happen, whether they go out on loan or whether they even get moved on. Y17com said it feels weird to be an Anfield Agenda fan as well as a Manchester City fan. As I've always said, mate, we welcome everybody into our chat. All we ask is that people are just respectful and contribute to the chat if they want to. And you have, my friend, so you are always very welcome in here. As are any United fans or Spurs fans, anybody. We're a football channel based on Liverpool, obviously, but we do welcome in fans from any club. Rory McIlroy, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, thank you, Liverpool legend, that was who you meant, you're right. Rory McIlroy just won the Canadian Open, nice. And congratulations to Scotland, actually, who beat the Republic of Ireland in the final of the Darts World Cup. Really good job by Ireland, to be fair. They knocked out England, they knocked out Holland, and they knocked out Austria to get to the final, but they were beaten by two better darts players, to be fair, in the final. So congratulations to Scotland on winning the World Cup of Darts, but got to be very proud of Ireland for getting to the final. RMC Sports, Mohamed Bafazi's reporting the Reds were negotiations of Pepe. We spoke about that one last night, mate, and he is the one that broke the Fabinho news, as you rightly said. But then again, the Echo have been reported as saying that Liverpool haven't had any negotiations with Pepe, which is something we spoke about a little bit earlier on. So it's very difficult, a viable ninja, to know what to believe, isn't it? I mean, there's so many different reports out there in the media. You should come to Florida. Big Liverpool fan base here, especially Fort Lauderdale. Been to Fort Lauderdale. Met Farrell actually from our chat over in Florida last year as well. We went to Universal Studios together. And yeah, I know there's some great supporters clubs over in Florida. There is Casey was with what's the supporters club? Where is Tampa? I know there's a great supporters club in Tampa as well, and I spoke to Casey, who was one of the founding members, I think, or one of the members of that supporters club before. I also know that there's a great supporters club in Orlando as well. Do you like going to Disneyland Paris in Florida? I think you mean Disneyland in Florida. No, not really a fan of Disney, if I have to be honest, and thankfully my kids aren't either. We did bring them on a couple of occasions to a couple of the parks. One of them we went for we go in October, so we went for a Halloween, Disney's Not So Scary Halloween or something it was called. But I don't like Disney personally, and my kids aren't mad into Disney stuff, so it was usually Universal for us when we went over. Never swap Bobby for any player. I'm with you, Denzel, never. Only time we'll win a World Cup, said Liam Hunter. Still though, congratulations, mate. Yeah, a win is a win, as they say. Congratulations for Australia for winning the darts competition. What darts competition? Scotland won the darts competition, mate. Ronnie Galloway said Mbappe, I'll go for Paris and bring him to Liverpool myself. Yeah, he's a dream signing, Ronnie, without a shadow of a doubt. Kylian Mbappe is going to be the biggest star of world football for the next 10 years, obviously with Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo coming to the ends of their career. Although we've got a few class acts ourselves at Liverpool Football Club, let's not forget that Trent Alexander-Arnold's still only 20 years of age. We've got Virgil van Dijk. So much to look forward to with this team. So much. Would you like to replay... Oh, that wasn't aimed at me. That was aimed at the Manchester City fan. I've worn my new Virgil home shirt once and we won the Champions League. So it's my new lucky kit, said Red Hulk. I love it. More of that, mate. I love anything that makes people feel positive. I've retired my lucky shirt. As I said, after the Champions League final, it's retired because, quite frankly, it's fallen to bits and I don't want it to be wrecked. I'm probably going to frame it and put it up in the house somewhere. Transfer season equals silly season, says Mark Anthony Vieira. Yeah, you're spot on, mate. It is, but I still love it. I absolutely love it. I love the madness of it. I love the nonsense of it. So many more. Oh, yes, a new rule coming in. We spoke about some new rule changes a couple of months ago, if you remember. The one that I think probably sticks out most to everybody was the fact that players will no longer have to leave the field when they're getting substituted at the halfway line. They'll be able to leave the field from the nearest point of exit. So you know what happens. Player knows they're going to be substituted. They slowly jog across to the far side of the field and then, oh, what's that? My number's up. I'm getting substituted. And they do that walkie run thing over to the far side of the field, stopping to shake a few hands and talk to the referee, and then the referee pretends to usher them off the field and nothing really happens. That's going to change. We spoke about that. So players will be able to leave the field at the nearest point of exit. So wherever the nearest white piece of line is, they can walk off and go there. But that's not the rule change I'm talking about. There's two actually. Sorry, there's two rule changes I want to talk about. So we spoke before about attacking players will no longer be able to be a part of a defensive wall. So if a goalkeeper sets up a wall, say of 3 or more players, an attacking player won't be able to go within 1 metre of that wall. So they'll have to either go a metre behind it, to the left, or wherever it is. But we've seen before that attacking players have been in walls and they've jumped out of the way at the last minute, or they've pushed people out of the way to make a space. Well, that rule change is coming in, I think, at the end of this month. But the new rule that looks like UEFA are trying to bring in, and this to me is a cracking rule, I think it's brilliant. They're hoping to bring in a rule that would allow additional substitutions for players that have suffered concussions, and the aim is for UEFA to have this new rule in place by 2021. And as I said, I love it. I absolutely love this. It's a very common sense thing to do. And immediately, I'm a skeptic. Like, I'm sure some of you are now trying to write, well, people will take advantage of this. People will take the piss. I think we've got a solution. Somebody very kindly suggested that, isn't there something in place that if a player goes with concussion or leaves the field or is diagnosed with a concussion, that they have to have a 7-day break before they can play again? Well, that I think would be the deterrent here to managers maybe taking the piss and players trying to cheat their way to make a substitution. So I think it's a great piece of an additional rule to be brought in by UEFA, because concussion's extremely serious. It needs to be highlighted more. Thankfully, it is at the forefront of people's thoughts, and we've seen what happened with Mohamed Salah. Was it Bobby Firmino or Mohamed Salah that picked up? Hang on. There's Mo Salah, sorry, they got the concussion. Then we've seen Jan Vertonghen as well at Spurs. He was on wobbly feet as well. And we've seen, obviously, we could go back to what happened with Petr Cech as well, and that serious head injury. You want players to be protected, and I think this is a great rule by UEFA to allow substitutions to be made, additional substitutions, if a player has gone off and has been diagnosed or has been believed to have had a concussion. So I'm all for that one. It's a great rule. Willow said only if there's 3 or more on the wall, though. Yes. It didn't come in on June the 1st. It's the 21st, Willow. I think I heard the guys on Sky saying that earlier on when they were talking about the Nations League. But I could be wrong. I have been known to be wrong on many occasions, Willow. Common sense when it comes to concussions at Liverpool Football Club. How do they know if somebody has concussion? I guess that's down to the medical staff of the team to decide, mate. Now, obviously, there will have had to have been clear evidence that the player took a blow to the head. I mean, he can't just go down holding his face in the middle of the field with nobody near him, because VAR will be able to see that and the referee will probably get a word in his ear. And I would hope then that a ban would be issued to a player if they were trying to cheat in that sense. But first and foremost, you do want players to be protected, and I think it's a very common sense rule and a good rule that's going to be coming in, or they're looking to bring in. It's like in GAA, you don't get an extra. What's this? Don't they get an extra sub for an injury? A blood injury, I think, Fran, isn't it? There's a blood injury in GAA. Salah and Fabinho got concussion, said Dave Sweeney. Thank you very much. Craig, should I get somebody on the back of my new home shirt for next season, or should I keep it blank? Sean, that is entirely a personal decision, mate. I didn't with the home shirt. I may with the third shirt. Last year I got Naby Keita on the back of the purple shirt, I should say. If I was going to get a name this year, I'd probably get Robbo, to be honest. But I'm not telling you what to do, mate. It is completely your decision. Declan said, what is your setup? I don't know how you have the confidence to sit and talk to loads of people. Fair play. What do you mean by setup, Declan? I mean, what we're doing now. I'm sitting in a bedroom, mate. I'm sitting at the end of my bed on a computer desk with a green screen right behind me. Like this thing you can see here, that's a green screen. So that sits on top of a radiator. And then we use a computer program called OBS, Open Broadcast Software, that allows you to add images and overlays and stuff, which gives you all the things you can see here on the screen, basically. So the picture of Matthijs de Ligt to your right, our logo, all that stuff, the sub count, all that is done through what's called OBS. Then, as I said before, I use this, which is a Rode NTSB USB microphone. Rode make exquisite microphones, probably the best in the world, to be honest. This isn't the best in the world. This is an entry-level Rode microphone. Then I use a webcam on top of a computer monitor. I don't use my MacBook for this because, quite frankly, even though the MacBooks are expensive, the webcams are dirt on them in bad lighting. So my MacBook Pro is about 6 or 7 feet away from me, and I've cables then that come to the Logitech Brio webcam that sits on top of a monitor, wireless keyboard, wireless mouse. Then for lighting, to project the light onto the green screen behind me, I use a ring light, an LED ring light. They're about 90 quid, depending on what size you want, on Amazon. I don't think there's anything else I'm forgetting about, buddy, but yeah, it's a bedroom setup, believe it or not, and a very cramped space as well. There's not much space around me right now. I'm sitting at the end of the bed, basically. What have we got here? Good night, Scotty, mate. I'll talk to you really soon. Portugal have won the UEFA Nations League. Yep, congratulations to them. Craig, Liverpool have submitted an £80 million bid or euro bid for Pepe. Again, press, mate, is this the usual story that's been doing the rounds over the couple of days? The guy from that Bufasi gentleman, is he the guy you're talking about? Because I've seen that, and I've also seen from the Echo that there's been no conversation. But I hope you're right. Don't get me wrong, mate. I absolutely hope you're right. Madison, Pepe and Neves and Martin Butcher. Get the new logo on the new kit. Free advertising on the back of the new kit. Oh man, no. Imagine the abuse you'd get walking around with that with Anfield Agenda's logo on the back of it. And we are working on some new merch, by the way, just because you guys asked for it. So we're working right now on a new t-shirt with the Anfield Agenda logo on it and WFM on the other side. That'll probably go on hoodies as well. Maybe on I don't know if we can put it on a baseball cap. I don't know if Teespring, the company we use, actually make baseball caps. And we're also working on another t-shirt that I don't want to give away just yet, because I don't want someone to pinch my idea, quite frankly, because it's not Anfield Agenda based. So yeah, there will be some Anfield Agenda with the new logo, some things coming out, because the only merchandise we really ever have out now is the Fuckum stuff, which I don't have my phone on me, but you guys have seen it before. I'm sure you've seen the Fuckum logo. The descriptions in the stream notes below. Also want to give a shout out to Mo Salah Facts, friends of ours from Twitter, another good Liverpool account if you want to go over there and follow him. The link is in the description to his account as well. What else have we got? I think, what's your subscriber goal for the end of this season? As in like next May coming up, 1920. I don't know. Do you know, I haven't thought about it. 30 maybe, 30k I think would be great. And that's probably been optimistic because this season was sensational. I think 30k might be a reasonable assumption. But you never know, man. It could go the other way. We could go backwards. We could treble. I don't know. I just hope people continue to tune in and people continue to like what we do, because I certainly love doing it. It's a privilege to be able to come on here every night and talk to people. And Declan asked how I got the confidence to do it. Well, mate, it came from 3 years of not being confident and gradually pushing myself a little bit. So I started out, sorry for people who've heard this story before, I do apologise. Really quickly, I started out on a Twitter account called Cop Jaffer, and I didn't have my name and I didn't have my own image. I can't even remember what image I used at the time. So yeah, I had an account called Cop Jaffer. I just posted Liverpool stuff, and I joined there to try and improve myself socially and improve my confidence a little bit and just chat with people. So I joined Twitter, was on there for a while, got a chance to start writing some articles for Anfield Index, and said, hey, do you know what, I'll give it a bash. So I started writing a few articles for Anfield Index at the time, and I didn't get slated. I mean, I was expecting to be told my opinion was dog shit, but people were kind enough, so got me a little bit more confident. And then I thought, do you know what, I'm going to start using my real name. So I used my real name, but I kept the @CopJaffer as my handle at the time. So I used my real name and I got a little bit more confident. And then Gag said to me one day, Gag's Tandon, the gentleman that runs Anfield Index, said to me one day, hey, we're looking for somebody to come on and be part of the Riders podcast. Would you like to do that? And the Riders podcast was made up of obviously people that wrote articles for Anfield Index. And I said, sure, yeah, I'll give it a bash. And I've told this story before. I'll never forget, before my first one, I was in the bathroom thinking I was going to throw up. I was that nervous before my first podcast. It went really well. I really enjoyed myself. I did that for a few months. I continued doing a bit of writing. And then I decided that I wanted to push on again, because I'm somebody that never likes staying still. I always like to continue to try and push myself and get out of my comfort zone. So then I said, hey, let's start our own podcast. Let's try and start our own podcast. So we eventually started our own podcast, and of course with all of these things you get help from people along the way. People show you certain things, and people show you how equipment works and all this type of stuff. We started that podcast. Podcast did okay. Not gonna lie, there was fallout in the podcast. There was bad blood and people left and we all went our separate ways. I went on holidays and decided, you know what, I'm not finished yet. I think I have another podcast in me. So I came back. I started what was TOTT Sport at the time with Connor. TOTT Sport, we eventually changed the name to Anfield Agenda because we just thought we needed to have a Liverpool based name, whereas TOTT Sport just didn't make any fucking sense really when it came to Liverpool stuff. So we started that as a podcast. it was doing really well. And then Connor said to me one day, why don't we move this onto YouTube? Why don't we change and move the channel onto YouTube? And I thought, fucking hell, mate, that's another jump up, because now I'm sitting in front of a camera every night and I can't hide. Whereas behind a microphone, you put it out into the world and you hope people like it, but realistically you don't get much feedback on it. So when Connor said it to me, firstly I thought, no, I'm too old. I'm 36, what was I at the time? 36 years of age. That's too old to be a fucking YouTuber. But he said, no, go ahead, we'll do it. So we started the channel. No expectations when we really started it, and I wasn't somebody that had a YouTube background or even watched much YouTube stuff when it comes to fan content. So I just turned on the camera one day and started live streaming, and didn't really have anything to talk about, but people started peering in and I just started interacting with people, and the channel has grown from there. And we've dipped back into podcasts recently and it's been great, and I love them because it's always my first love with content. I love doing podcasts, but to be here now, what is it, 14, 15 months down the line, it's amazing to have got to chat to all of you guys, and to be here with over 16,000 subscribers. Never thought it would happen. Don't take it for granted. Work very, very hard to try and keep this thing moving along, as does Connor and everybody else involved with it. But it wouldn't happen without you guys. So keep saying, we love each and every one of you, and you've been part of this journey, and you'll continue to be part of this journey. And we ain't finished yet, motherfuckers. We've a long way to go, so stay with us. And apologies for anyone who are bored with that one, but you know, sometimes it's nice to just reminisce as well, because we've come a long way. I feel like there's a Take That song starting there. Yeah, we have come a long way in a short period of time, and I fucking love it. I absolutely love it. You guys have given me so much more than I can ever give back to you. Anyway, let's push on. Lee said, hi Craig, Lee here. I think that you've got this whole situation with De Ligt being on stupid money, as he only plays for Ajax, so his wages will be a lot lower than expected. Yeah, that's now, Lee, but when he moves to a new club, mate, with Mino Raiola as his agent, I would imagine he's probably going to be on a good wage. Craig, we gotta get you an upgrade. An upgrade to what, Mark? What's my upgrade? What do I need an upgrade of, actually? I'm very interested to know. You're doing great, mate. Really enjoy the streams, videos. Thank you. But it's not just me. I'm just a lucky person that gets to sit in front of the microphone here. Connor does so much work behind the scenes as well to make sure that technically this thing moves on. Brian Morrissey has now started to make stuff with us as well, and Brian makes a lot of sacrifices to be able to travel to record stuff as well. Cash, Dave, Chris, everybody else associated with it, October, they all give up their time as well. I think, yeah, I'd say this week, I think I've probably put in about 60 hours on Anfield Agenda stuff, and I'll do another 60 hours without blinking, because I love it. TOTT Sport had a fantastic content, especially the World Cup stuff last year. Hilarious. Thank you, mate. Yeah, there was some good stuff there with obviously Husey at the time was part of TOTT Sport, and Husey was great, and we even had a Spurs fan that came in from time to time, Terry as well, and Tom, and it was great. It was really good, and yeah, all you learn along the way as well. Declan said, inspirational story, to be honest. The photo I put up the jersey was kind of a big deal for me. Hopefully someday I'll make a YouTuber. Well, Declan, I'm always here, mate, if you need any advice or anything like that. People were kind enough to give me a dig out. I spoke about Mark Goldbridge as well, how great he's been to me since we started on YouTube. I'm happy to do that for other people, mate. So always feel like you can reach out. You know our DMs are open, Declan. And I appreciated you taking the time, mate, to take the photo with the shirt that you won, and just let people know that we genuinely did send it out. Johan Fisher said we'll never walk alone. No, it's special on here. There is something different about, I want to say about this channel, but that's not right, because that makes it sound like I'm talking about me. But I think you know what I'm trying to say. There's something different about what we're doing on here. It is a fucking community. It is not just subscriber channel relationship. It's much more than that. I've had the pleasure of meeting so many people from this chat. I've had the pleasure of knowing private details and emailing and sharing stuff with people from this chat. And packages arrive for Lucas, and it's amazing. It's beyond my wildest dreams, and I can only imagine where we might be in a year's time. But I hope we're all here together. That's the most important thing, and I hope the club is successful, because I've seen channels grow off the back of their clubs being shit, and I never want that to be the position for us. We got so lucky that we started at the right time, and that we started at a time where the club are on the up, and it's class. I fucking love it. I love it so much. I really love it so much. And they relax there, Prez, saying Connor's the brains now. Relax. And no, he is, to be fair. I'm the tits and ass, as I like to say. Keep up the good work. Thank you. But you've no need to ever thank us. You guys are the ones that deserve all the thanks, because it's your consistency, your dedication, your thoughts, your inspiration, your kindness to each other that makes this a place. Because how many times, let's be honest, we've all dipped in and out of YouTube channels where we've gone in and gone, let's see what this crowd are talking about, let's see what that crowd are talking about. And the amount of people that have come back to me and said, I dipped in here and I came in and within 2 minutes, abuse. And we've probably lost out on thousands of subscribers by just fucking kicking people out, because we don't want our chat to be a cesspool of shitty opinions and hate. Because, you know, people have enough shit going on in their lives. They come on the internet to kick back and relax and have some fun. And that's what this is about. It's about people being able to have fun about the club that we all love. What else have we got? I've been with my hubby nearly 31 years now, said Willow. Wow. Congratulations to you both. That's amazing. Which team do you think will win the Copa America? It's very difficult, isn't it, with that one? Because you sometimes get a surprise. You'd have to make Brazil favourites, though. They've a really strong squad. Really strong squad. I want to just have a quick check through the notes. I'm going to go for another 10 minutes, guys, because we did start late tonight, because I wanted to watch the end of the Nations League final, if I'm being honest. Done that one. Oh, yes, so there's something on Marko Grujic, actually, and I want to give a shout out to Kev's LFC Artwork for letting me know about this one. 3 Bundesliga clubs have apparently reportedly shown interest in Marko Grujic. These 3 clubs are Hertha Berlin, for obvious reasons he was there, Eintracht Frankfurt and Werder Bremen. So they're the 3 clubs in question. The figure mentioned in this article from goal.com was £25 million for Marko Grujic. We've also seen him linked to Atletico Madrid, but when the link came out to Atletico, the fee was a lot higher. I think it was around 40 million quid. Now, Marko Grujic is a very, very interesting player, because I think he's going to go on and have a good career. He's got all the physical attributes needed to play in the position that he plays in and play at a very high level. I don't want us to sell him. I really don't want us to sell him. If we sell him, it's probably because I think we have another midfielder in mind. But what are your thoughts on Marko Grujic, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think? Do you want him to stay? Do you think he's going to move on? I'd originally heard, or read, I should say, a loan move back to Germany to a club competing in European competition this year. Sorry. Don't let Wilson go anywhere, said Waig. I think he will go, mate, if I'm being honest. I think he will go. But, again, let's just wait and see what happens. Should I start YouTube playing FIFA or Fortnite? Wrong person to ask here, Fran, mate. I don't play computer games at all, so I can't be much help to you on that one. John Hamilton said, I don't watch a lot of channels of varying topics and only ever leave a rare comment on them. And On the Bench are the 2 most I post on most regularly. Or so you do watch a lot of channels, sorry. Yeah, and we appreciate you being here, John. I appreciate everybody taking the time to come in and give the comments. Dave said, Craig, it's great you put in the chat first and don't let Gobshite stay here. It's really relaxing and informative. Well, that's it. There's enough fucking hate being spewed on social media and stuff that from day one on here we didn't want that to be the case, because it would be detrimental to the environment that we're trying to build. Keep Grujic, he's a good player, said Mark Henley. Decent money for only 50 million, said Darren. 25 million is a great price, but I would give him another go, said it's Fran. Mirror just tweeted saying that Robbo should ignore the Barca chat, stating the obvious. Yeah, look, Andy Robertson is in his dream right now. He is loving life at the minute and is being loved and idolised by Liverpool fans, and rightly so. Robbo ain't going anywhere. Grujic plays in a position where we have a lot of depth. Not a lot of depth. I mean, a defensive midfielder. We've got Fabinho. We've got cover. I absolutely agree with you on that one. But I don't know, man. There's just something about him, Aiden. He's such a big physical presence as well. It'd be great for him to learn off Fabinho as well, wouldn't it? That would be an ideal scenario, but it will be interesting to see what happens with him. The man with the plan said he feels that he deserves a chance, and I get that. He hasn't really had a chance at Liverpool, has he, Marko Grujic? It's 4 a.m. where you are, Y17 comes. Wow. Great to have you with us, mate, but you need to get some rest as well. Anything over 30 million and Edwards has pulled the blinder again. Think Grujic is technically great but doesn't have the footballing brain that Klopp needs, said Luke Jackson. Craig, if we sell Wilson, then sell to Leicester City as part of an exchange for Maddison. I like it, John. I like it. I think Wilson, that would be a great move for him though. We spoke about that before. If Liverpool move them on, Leicester City are a club with a lot of good young up and coming players there. A manager that likes to work with young talent as well and can develop young talent quite well, Brendan Rodgers. So it would be a sensible move if it was to come to fruition. Brian Morris, he said, we're the best in the world at selling average players for maximum money. And what a change around that's been, Brian. Do you remember a few years back we ended up just loaning players out on loan to buys and we couldn't get rid of them because we had players that were sitting on high wages that we couldn't move on. And now we bring in Michael Edwards and the man just continues to work miracles. Absolute miracles. Let's not forget, Andy Robertson was more or less a swap for Kevin Stewart. We sold one, bought the other. The fee was in and around the same amount. That's just genius in itself. Grujic is similar to Fabinho, said Epic Amp. What's the news about Henderson? Anything around him or Shaqiri? Nah, mate. Henderson's going to be here. He's going to be captain next season. Shaqiri has come out and said that he 100% will be staying at Liverpool. That's something, a quote I read from him a few days ago. But no, Hendo's not going to go anywhere. What's the news on De Ligt and what's your favourite moment of the season and why? Obviously, I could give you the obvious answer, which is lifting the Champions League, Carl, but I love Origi's goal against the Bitters, mate. I love seeing Jordan Pickford fuck up after saying that he's not going to make mistakes like Alisson did, and I love the fact that Divock scored that goal, and I love the fact that Klopp ran on the pitch, and I love the fact that the Bitters were absolutely fucking fuming that Klopp ran on the pitch and said it was massively disrespectful. I loved every moment of that, mate. I mean, it's my favourite celebration that I've done in the season as well. The news on De Ligt is that Raiola said that, where is he? Mino Raiola's agent, or Mino Raiola, Matthijs de Ligt's agent, said Anfield will be an ideal destination for the 19-year-old Ajax captain, and that comes in from the Mirror. What else is there? Barcelona bound. Greetings from Turkey. How are you? Is it Onur? How are you, mate? I'll be in Turkey next month, actually. What formation should we start the season with? I would say 4-3-3, Sean, is probably the obvious answer, but you never know. Sometimes we'll see a tweak. Formations can be fluid though as well, but I would say 4-3-3 is probably a sensible answer. Give Michael Edwards a knighthood. Yep, I'm with that one, Darren. Right behind you, pal. Hope Connor's getting that tattoo. No, Stephen, Liverpool didn't win the league. He said he'd get a Michael Edwards tattoo if Liverpool win the league, but he got away with it, to be fair. He got off with that one. Clubs don't usually do swaps as it's a mess up the agents' fees. Which one are you talking about here, John, with regards to the swap, mate? I don't know if you're talking about the whole situation about Robertson and Kevin Stewart, which kind of weren't related but kind of ended up being related, but they were two separate deals. But there is talk of a bit of a swap, as I said earlier on, between PSG and Atletico for Antoine Griezmann and Edison Cavani. I've no idea. I would imagine that there's going to be money going with Edison Cavani to get Antoine Griezmann, but it seems Griezmann looks like he's PSG bound. But you're right, the agents do have to get their big dirty cut as well, John. Got an interview at Melwood on Friday to be a chef, said Lewis. Nice. That is class, mate. I mean, tell them you'll work for free. I'm only joking, but that is class. Let us know how you get on, Lewis. That's brilliant. And best of luck with your interview, mate. That is amazing. I love that. Even to work for the club in that sense would be unbelievable, wouldn't it? Just to be any part of the football club, even to be a steward, to work at the club shop, I wouldn't care. It would just be amazing working for the club. Anfield agenda for the first YouTube Oscar. I'd settle for an FBA next year. That would be great. Yeah, I keep forgetting about the FBAs every single year until they come, and I'm not somebody that would ever say, hey, when you vote for us, will you do this? But next year, vote for us, motherfuckers. We want an FBA. We want a football blogging award. What else we got? Good luck, Lewis, said Aiden as well, which is why I love this chat. Wishing everybody good luck. From all of us, mate. I mean, I can only imagine working at Liverpool would be amazing in any sense whatsoever. Look at this. So many people saying good luck to Lewis. You lot are unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Craig's going to become a chef just to get close to Liverpool. I won't say I worked as a chef, but I worked as a cook in with a cafe for a couple of years when I was younger. Mad chefs are fucking lunatics though, to be fair. Some of the ones I've seen, and I mean that in a good way. Very dedicated profession as well. I'll try and get inside knowledge on transfers. I don't think you probably get any, mate, but just make sure that you look after the players if you get the job, which I know you will. Heard any news on Van der Beek? No, Lloyd. A couple of people have mentioned that we've been linked with him, but I haven't seen anything linking us to him. Spurs is the only link I've seen for him. Vote Craig for Prime Minister. Imagine me fucking in charge of a country. The country be bankrupt in a week. I love the Argentinian home jersey, said DS. I have a few. I have it hanging in the wardrobe there as well, mate. But I love this one as well. I think I got this one last year I got it in one of the stores in Orlando. I think it was the Adidas store in the outlet mall in Orlando. It was only like $30 or something like that. The hubby and son were both stewards at Anfield. Still know a couple of lads who work there, said Willow. Nice. Class. Yeah, it just must be great to be involved, even in any way. Just to feel that you're like a small part of Liverpool Football Club must be great. Look, I'll be a towel boy if it gets me to Liverpool, said Mark Anthony Vieira. What's my favourite kit of all time? Are we talking Liverpool kits, Darren? Or are we just talking... I'll give you both. Favourite Liverpool kits are my first kit, which was the 89-90 grey candy kit. I also love the home version of that kit, and I love the 86-87 Crown Paints kit, which is basically the same kit. Favourite jerseys of all time? The West Germany 1990 World Cup shirt, the 1986 Dutch shirt, the Irish Italia 90 shirt, the Colombia home shirt from the World Cup, which I think was gorgeous as well. I think that about covers it, mate. I've probably missed a few, but yeah, they're off the top of my head. They're some of my favourites. Clyne to be sold from what I've heard. Yeah, we spoke about that a little bit earlier on, buddy. £15 million seems to be the figure. And the two clubs that are interested obviously are Bournemouth, who he was on loan at, and Napoli, surprisingly enough, was the other club that was linked with Nathaniel Clyne. We're not all mental, but it's pretty much a fact, said Brian. You mostly are though, mate, and I mean that in a good way. And another thing I've learned is don't ever touch a chef's knives. Don't ever even touch them. Don't brush off. Don't pick them up, because you will get a mouthful, to say the least. I'm a frozen microwave dinner chef, said Mark Anthony Vieira. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we'll call it a night there, if that's okay. I will be back to talk to you all tomorrow night, back to 9:30 tomorrow night for tomorrow night's stream. Tonight we went a bit later because of the Nations League final. It's been a pleasure, as always, chatting to you all. Loved each and every one of you. I hope wherever you are in the world, things are going well for you and your families are doing well. I don't think there's anything else to finish up on tonight. Don't forget to subscribe though, if you haven't done that already. Every single subscriber really makes a difference to us. And turn on those notifications as well. If you've already subscribed, hit the thumbs up button before you head off. But look, I will end as I always do by saying take care of your families, tell your loved ones that you love them, and up the motherfucking Champions League winning 6-time motherfucking European Reds, bitches.